Okay, now we're live. Alrighty, call the meeting order. This is February 4th, 2026 meeting. We've got several things on the agenda. The main thing is the annual report, but we've got several other things to cover. So I guess we'll start with a pledge. Good morning. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. First thing we got is to review the old minutes. They weren't very long. That Harry, you were absent at that meeting, but the only thing we really did was the election of officers. Brad motioned to keep the officers current. He's the chairman, Judy's secretary, Judy second, all in favor. And the salary ordinance was passed with a 3%, approximately 3% raise for all positions. Judy motioned to accept and Brad seconded, all in favor. And that was the only two things we did at that meeting. So do we have a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make the motion to accept the minutes as read.
Okay.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, next thing, I've got the agenda. Hopefully I've got everything in order with the agenda on nepotism is the next thing we have to do this yearly. The top one's for Judy. The next one will be Brad and the bottom one's Harry. Just pass them along, and those have to be dated, signed, and then print your name at the bottom. And basically it says that you're not involved in any issues with nepotism in contracting or employment. And then it gives the definition of nepotism as spouse, parent, child, step-parent, brother, sister, step-brother, step-sister, niece, nephew, aunt, uncle, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, including half-bloods and adopted children. And this will do for this year of 2026. So.
Okay, it's the fourth.
Yeah, it is fourth.
Okay.
This is one of the things they look for on the audits now. Make sure we. That's taken care of. And the next thing is the township standards. We have to adopt them every year, and I have to update them for the year. Current year, and there's not a lot that was changed in this. I think that I did add in here on the hours for the office. I included like remote work just in case, I have to go to therapy or anything like that, and to cover, hopefully, hope to God nothing happens like happened, in December. But this way, I'm covered if right. Until I can get somebody hired where I can have somebody down here. It's just,
yeah.
If something happens to me, it makes it tough, right. To have somebody down here. Judy came down and covered a little bit, and that, of course, there's things that I actually need to do. So even during some of the worst of that period, I still had to deal with people, because I told Judy when this all went down, I said, one thing. This is getting into the slow time of year. Well, that was a jinx, because it just like everything.
December is always slow.
Yeah.
Always has been.
November,
No,
December,
not
usually not bad
year.
at all. And it's just, no, not this year. Of course not. And it was all fairly involved stuff. But, we made it through it. So, and then the And the addendums are the main thing that I have to update every year. The actual working of the office stays pretty much the same. One of the things that I updated was the poverty guidelines. Finally found a 2026 poverty guidelines. So, and everything went up by probably 3 or 4% over last year. So we update that yearly. Also, I updated the rent, slightly adjusted it up to a maximum allotted of 700 for one person, 800 for two people, and 900 for three people or more. It's just hard to guess because you just don't know what's going to walk through the door and where they're living and how much it costs where they live, because so many places have just gone through the roof.
That's right.
And it's
I'm
just
hearing the rental rates are all over the place.
oh yeah, yeah,
Crazy,
and
depending on where you're at. And
They went up really crazy in the last, 6 years, something like that.
I'm on the board of the apartments in Dublin, and we've had to increase our rates a little bit because our insurance has gone up, and people gripe, but then when they start looking around, they're like, we're getting a good deal here. You're silly, for the quality of the facility.
Right.
Boy, you can't find it now if you look for rentals. It's just gone crazy. So
A lot of the renters, you wouldn't want them anyway,
right.
so that's a bad thing.
And so this is resolution 002 of 2026. And be it resolved, the attached document will serve as the standards for the administration of the Township Assistance in Jackson Township, Wayne County, Indiana, adopted the 4th day of February 2026. Do I have a motion to make that resolution official?
We'll make a motion to.
Okay.
I'll second.
Man, they're cutting you out here. You're gonna have to speak up.
Finish up in there quick.
Feel so left out.
And I just need, if you will, Judy sign the middle, Brad sign the top, since he's chairman.
You don't want it to conflict with your
Yeah,
trustee
right, yeah.
campaign, right?
Exactly. I don't want to sign those documents. Oh, no,
You're supposed to sign right
I had that
now.
shut off.
The top one, okay. A lot, I guess. I cannot get my hands warm. My hands are cold all the time, guys.
My feet,
It's not on eloquence. I think it
Oh,
has a lot to do with it.
probably.
It just does not get me.
Thank you. So we're good to go for 2026. Actually, we've already had people coming in, but it's, even January can be halfway calm, but it's just been a crazy year, which I don't mind it. The next thing on the agenda is adoption of the 2026 employee policies. That's resolution 003, 2026. There was no changes to this. We had to have something, we've never really had any policies, and until we get actual employee, they're not very long, but it covers compensation, employee benefits. The PERF program is the only thing we offer, and that's full-time. I'm in PERF. Leave, overtime, record of hours worked, that's responsibility that I'd have to keep track of their hours if anybody comes to work for us and they're paid hourly. And then they have to fall under E-Verify, which I've got the township set up where I can go online and do E-Verify to make sure they're legitimate to work in the country. And then they have to follow the same nepotism rules as we do, and they have to sign the nepotism form. So that's
Any luck or prospects of getting anybody there?
not yet. It's been between annual report and other things going on. I really haven't had a chance. I'm wondering about rerunning the ad, maybe rewording it a little bit. Maybe it was just when I put it in, I had it in there that, college education preferred, high school required, and wanted to have some experience in, like the Microsoft Office products. And I wouldn't have to have that. I mean, I can teach them what they need to know. So I may reword it and re-add.
They really wouldn't be
advertise.
putting a lot of the information, I'm supposing.
Well, what I'm thinking is I'd like to have somebody know spreadsheets,
Yeah,
you know, that would be convenient, but
and that you could teach somebody, you know.
I'm not that good at spreadsheets, that's why I want somebody else to do it.
Okay.
So, but anyway, that's 003/2026. Need a motion to entertain this resolution.
Jump in there.
I'll make a motion.
There we go. I knew you were down there.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
I,
Okay. And just need red on top and you in the middle if you want.
okay.
All right, thank you. And the next thing we've got are fire contracts. We've got two, that's with Dublin and Cambridge. Got the one really quick after first year from Sherry, and Bob provides that. On both contracts, we've not changed any of the cost. We've got an agreement with Cambridge. I'll give you an idea. We'll talk about this when we do the annual report, but just to let you know, on our fire fund, we began the year with 68,000. We received 35,557, dispersed 24, and right now we've got 80,000 in fire fund. So fire fund's doing okay. Don't know where we're going to be in the next couple of years with the changes in the property tax structure, but that gives you an idea of where we're at. I think we've got, after this year, I think we've got another 3 years with Cambridge on the agreement that we made when we bought the aerial. So that was a 10-year agreement that they wouldn't up the rate on us for that 10-year period. So, and when I hopefully maybe work out the same kind of deal, because when our capital improvement plan we set up last year, and of course it depends on what happens to the townships, but I still hope that we can assist Cambridge or flat out buy a pumper tanker sometime. One of the issues that they have with their old tanker is it's a clutch, and well, the guys can't drive a clutch anymore, you know.
Yeah.
So
Not gonna do much good if nobody knows how to
right,
drive it.
yeah. Where in a pumper tanker, you're
Yeah.
kind of doing double duty there too. That way, you've got a lot of water and you've got a pump that'll handle, fire scene. So that's my hope. Our next vehicle, we'll see how things work out in the next year or so, is to try to maybe into next year's budget, see where we're at when we do our budget in August, and decide whether we're ready
If you're
to.
out in the country, you've gotta have a pumper.
Yeah.
That's just,
Well, like I said, especially when you're short on guys, it makes it nice that you've got that extra water there, because you don't know how soon somebody's gonna be coming behind you with a tanker,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for township runs, it's very crucial, so. And like I said, the rates didn't change. I've left Dublin's the same as well. Right now, with the way things are, we just need to see how everything shakes out over the next year or two to know where we're at. But feel free to look through the contract. Cambridge has already signed it, so Brad's on top as chairman.
Linda, that 24, the disbursement we're showing, that's Cambridge and Dublin together.
Yes, that's combined. Yeah, it's like 17,500 for Cambridge and 8,500 for Dublin.
Okay.
Yeah. So. That sound right?
Is there another one up here, number 2? We need to sign both these.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
No, you're okay. It just came apart when I was doing it.
Yeah, I didn't think about there being two.
I'm sorry, it's 15.5 for Cambridge. It's not 7, it's 77.50 a half.
I bet they're
Is what I'm paying
the same
Cambridge.
thing, I think.
Oh,
There's
Yeah,
2 copies.
Oh, I'm sorry,
That's
yeah.
okay. It's just, one's a copy though, because these are both from Cambridge.
we don't sign both of them, do we?
Yes,
Oh,
we
we
do,
do?
one's for us and one's for
Oh, gotcha.
Cambridge.
Okay.
I didn't think about it.
Even the worst signature than the first one, Brad. These things-
mine anymore is just a leaps,
Oh, that's,
and I hope it passes anything that has to be done.
it got really, really bad. Thought it was ever good, but.
Mine's terrible. I'm getting shaky a little bit.
Copy this one real quick that way.
Or get your
Signs
point,
are-
I start about halfway through, it's like, how do I finish it?
Exactly. No kidding.
My brain
I do the
doesn't
same thing.
I think I still have to have double sign. Sorry about it, I'll let them get me a copy, or they can make their own copy. And the amounts were, 15.5 as Cambridge, it's 77.50 a half. And then, that's in June and December, and then Dublin is 42.50 to 85. So between the two, it comes to 24. And this is Dublin, only one copy of it. Basically the same requirements. Cambridge is just a little bit longer. I added a few things a couple of years ago to Dublin as far as, I have to have anybody that I help now, or in Dublin's case, volunteer fire departments, when I do my reporting to the state, I have to have their employee identification number, EIN. So they're wanting to see EIN, the state board of accounts is, so, which I already have Dublin, so that's not a big deal. But I just added it to the contract in case they ever update it or whatever. Cambridge. Okay. All right. So that takes care of fair contracts. And the next thing is the food pantry. I talked to Harry, and I think I talked to Judy about this. The food pantry in Hagerstown, we've been working with them over the last couple of years and paying them like $3,000 to let people from our township go up, which I knew was low, but that was just kind of a figure that we set starting out, to see how it went. It's went pretty well, and according to Chris, and he sends us reports, a lot of people that he sees are from Jackson Township. So our people definitely take advantage of it. And I send them there every Friday from like 10 until 3. And but Chris last year said he thought he was going to have to cut it off just to Jefferson Township only. And which I said that I completely understand, because Judy knows what kind of a job, maintaining a food pantry is. But I was open to, any suggestions he had. And I got back with him before the end of the year to find out what they were going to do, see if I need to stop referring people up there. And he said that what he wanted to do is they had actually split the food pantry off, and it's now called the Nettle Creek Community Coalition. And it's its own entity. And then he contracts for Jefferson Township with that entity. The NCCC is what I've got it in here. And he said that he would provide a copy of this contract, but submit our names or replace our names in there where he has the Jefferson, and he's asking for $6,000. So, it's a pretty good increase, but our budget can handle that with no problem. I actually had some money that went unspent last year in community resources, so it won't be a problem. And it's something the state likes to see, townships working together and not duplicating resources, So that's a plus for us. So the contract would run from March 1st of this year to February 28th of next year. They entitle, and I've got a resolution on top, and it's a little bit more in depth if you want to read the contract itself. It entitles anybody from Cambridge to go up twice a month to eligible residents, and they'll take care of the logistics and maintaining, and they're trying to expand it actually a little bit with refrigeration, and they've got a different truck now, and they're going out and picking up their own stuff at Gleaners and other places that provide
That's a big
food.
job.
Yeah, it is. And Chris has got back trouble too, so.
So that entity would be responsible for keeping track of, if we ask for a report,
Yep.
how many Jackson Township residents we would.
And actually, it's in the contract that he will provide a reporting. They'll maintain records of the households, provide a summary report to Jackson Township upon request. So,
And twice a month is good, because
yeah,
when we had it before, through Gleaners, it was once a month.
yeah.
That was,
Well,
which I never turned anybody away, but it was,
I've never had any complaints about anybody I sent up there, and I think Chris does a good job with it, so, and it's close. And some of the townships, the smaller ones, from what Chris said, weren't really, helping a lot. He was trying to still help people. He hates to turn anybody away,
Right.
but, he's gotta have some
You could.
reimbursement for their
Right.
expense,
Yeah.
and I understand that completely, so,
Do you know happen to know who's running the new organization?
it's him and his wife.
Oh, they just.
Yeah,
created
they just split it up to a different
Gotcha.
entity and got it out
Okay.
underneath the trustee's office.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Chris and his wife are still the main, there may be a few others involved.
I imagine there is, if
Yeah,
having people come in twice a month,
yeah,
that
he's
would be
got,
a lot.
he's got volunteers, and I think the high school, he's got some kids that help volunteer too, so. If it's agreeable with you guys, this is resolution 004/2026. Be resolved, the Jackson Township Trustees Office desires to better serve the residents of Jackson Township, is partnering with the Nettle Creek Community Coalition and 47 East Main, Cambridge, or Hagerstown. The NCCC maintains a food pantry located at said location in exchange for the sum of $6,000 annually. The NCCC will allow residents of Jackson Township to be access to said pantry twice monthly. This agreement will run from March 1st to February 28th of next year. And then I've got there that further details are available in the professional services agreement that's attached. So, make a motion to accept.
I'll make the motion with acceptance. That's right.
You're behind,
I say.
Harry, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. I'm gonna go in the middle, Brad, top.
Is there just one copy?
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, I didn't think about the back page of there's also another place that has to be signed on the agreement.
On this document.
I think I've already signed it, but I want the board to sign it too.
Okay.
I don't want it just to be my signature.
Do you know whether they, give out like hygiene products,
They've
toilet
got
paper,
some,
paper,
I don't think
Yeah.
that's not their
I don't
main.
know where it's at.
Yeah, let me.
I think it's just,
Like there's two, oh, this is them. There's a place for Nettle Creek and there's a place for you to sign, it looks like.
Okay.
Those are two you're thinking of?
Let me,
I'll give it back to you.
look at it real quick.
I
Because what I was
see.
thinking is I'll go ahead and get you guys to sign it too. You just want to
Yeah.
put your signature by that way it's not just for me, but the entire board. Even though we have a resolution to back it up, but.
I'm glad they're continuing with it, because that's,
Yeah, I am too, because, we've got the Christian church, but they're only available, once a month. And
Well, I'm trying to explain to a grocery store or something if they're not familiar with what the trustee
Well,
does.
in emergencies, I have
It's,
went
you know,
and
Yeah.
dealt with the Cambridge market, but now that I haven't with the new owners, so I don't know how receptive they'd be. They don't have to work with us if they don't want to. What I've done before is just met the person down there with the township credit card, let them get everything they need, and then I'll meet them with cash register and pay for it that way, and then pay for it the next month when the bill comes due. But that's only occasionally, and then when people are just completely out of food and not, I don't make it a habit of doing that. I'd much rather they go to the available food pantries. And I tell them, I said, that's why we partner with these people and pay to do that, you know, and people have to understand that the trustees' offices aren't there for everything. You know, we can't feed you the entire year
That's right.
and house you and everything. You know, you've got to take some steps and get on SNAP. And that's the one thing we do when I talk to people, you know, are they on the energy assistance plan? That way, anything that frees up money, so they've got money for their other bills. So I make sure they're on energy assistance if they're eligible, that they're on SNAP, and that they take advantage of the food pantries and, you know, try to get them
they're gonna do
where they're not-
something along the line.
where they're not
themselves.
so tight.
Yeah.
And of course, refer them to jobs. I routinely send them to work one. And, you know, if they're not working and they're eligible, they're, you know, under 65 and in good shape and can do it, you know, one of the first questions is, are you working? And if not, why not? You know, and
That's a state requirement too.
if you're not working, are you on disability or are you in the process? If I have to have a doctor's statement, you know, to help you if you're not receiving disability yet. I've got to have proof that you can't work. So, it's just part of it. And let's see, annual report, and this is what I print off of our software. And basically, it all boils down to what you see on the screen right there. The whole report, as lengthy as it is, and it's attached here, and whatever you want to do, you can take your time and read through the whole thing. I don't care. But it's our 2025 Township Annual Report. And the figures that are on the third page match identically to those. And what it shows is at the beginning of the year, we came into the year with $823,154.64. We received $250,461, dispersed $202,255.91, and we've got $871,360.56 as of December 31st. Of course, it's a few thousand different now because we received money from the township or from the county, and so there are a few changes, but that's basically it in a nutshell. It does reflect a little bit different on the Tom software because we took, and if you guys remember right, last year we decided to open a CD and take some of the extra money we had and get it where it's making some decent money. So 150,000 could be added actually to the disbursements edge and as when we bought the CD, but then it's back in under the cash and investments. So the actual money we have is at the lower right-hand corner there, the 871,360. And that includes all the cash in our checking and what we've got in CDs, which we've got a $35,000 CD at First Bank and a $150,000 CD at Wayne. So, good. And it's actually up in 2 weeks, so I'll have to get with them and see what kind of a deal they'll make us and redo it. So we have to advertise it again this year. The only thing, they cut back on what we have to advertise, which is great. So what will be advertised in the Western Wayne News, and then our certification, which we have to sign here. So, and for Brad, there's actually you'll sign under this right here.
Okay.
And then again, here, and here, Brad, Judy, Harry. And then I've got a second one, just in case. Go ahead and sign both. I guess I need a motion to accept the annual report.
I'll make a motion to accept the annual report.
Okay?
Go ahead, Judy.
I'll second it.
I'm glad you guys work together so well.
Sometimes
Team
you gotta
work.
pick.
You'll wake me up.
Two places for Brad. The only thing you'll need to do, choose the center on
Okay.
that and the next page.
Are you going to the office? You did here?
Mhm.
I'll just swing by and look at that paper.
Oh, yeah.
The rainy day funds, as you look across there, rainy days not been touched in the last year and nothing's gone into it. The township fund is a pretty healthy fund. We're at this.
Just the two pages?
Yeah. At almost 300,000 in it. Home rule funds, which that's the funds that we have complete control of. They don't fall under the state board of accounts and they don't receive any tax dollars. We've got 3,500. And that's just kind of discretionary. If I have somebody that needs help fast, I can use that and avoid some of the headache. Our big fund is poor relief, and that's the actual money that goes into maintaining the welfare administration and actually direct poor relief. And we started with 336, brought in 36, dispersed 31, so we're up to 341. It's not growing as fast now as what it was. Originally, when Judy was here, they had her put funds monthly into poor relief. And we've stopped that. Now all the excess funds go into township. So poor relief's not gonna grow as fast, which that's good because when it's in poor relief, there's nothing I can do with it. I can't pull it out for any other reason other than for poor relief. Where township is kind of a universal fund. I can use it for different things, so.
When we get money from the state, how do you divide those per,
Well,
those percentages? Is that up to
they-
us or is it?
they split it up for me, yeah,
Oh, do they?
yep, and it tells me what to put into each fund.
Okay.
The only thing we did was discretionary money that we received monthly, and if you guys remember last year, we had to change that because the state board changed it, because Judy, or 2 years ago, because Judy was put part in the poor relief, and that was at the direction of the DLGF, the Department of Local Government Finance. She would put part in poor relief and part in township. Well, the state board of accounts says, no, nothing can go into poor relief now, it all has to go into township. So we did change that. And then later last year, they came through with part of the Senate Bill 1. Used to be the county would tell you on some of the smaller, like the excise taxes and things like that, okay, this much goes in the township, this much goes in the firefighting, and they weren't huge amounts. Well, now they just send it to you, here's like $1,000, and you do with it what you want.
Yeah, I'm really surprised about that.
Yeah, they don't,
Yeah.
it's, the state has required it now with the Senate Bill 1, but we agreed to put it all in the township at one of our meetings.
Mhm.
So that's why it all goes in the township, which is a good place for it because we can always pull from that to do other things with it.
Yeah.
It's what happened, from what I understand, a lot of trustees would put it in the fire fund and that they tried to bolster their fire fund up because maintaining the fire department was expensive.
Yeah, man.
And they try to pull money from wherever they could, but when it goes directly into the fire fund, it artificially inflates your tax rate. And they said, no, you can't do that. You can pull from township to assist on a project, but you can't put it right into that fund, right? So, but poor relief is our healthiest fund, followed by township. And then human vehicle, that's where we took a good chunk when we bought the Arrow for Cambridge. We started with 114, brought in 13, so we're at 127 now. So that's going to help us down the road when we look at a pumper tanker. So the fire fund, we're in decent shape. I worry what's going to happen in the next few years, especially with fire. I don't want us to get us into a negative situation between receipts and disbursements where we take in less than what we pay out. So hopefully we don't end up in that. Now, on the next line, cumulative fire fund, I made a boo-boo 2 years ago. When we received our June draw, I had 599.22, and that's an example, was to go into fire fund. Well, I thought I put it in fire fund. Well, I put it into cumulative fire fund, which we don't even have a cumulative fire fund. And I didn't catch it until last February, after we had already done the annual report, and it was all done and dried. And I was finishing up. I'm like, we don't have a cum fire fund. So what I had to do was show a disbursement, that 599.22 from the cum fire over into the fire fund. So that's where the money went. So recreation fund, I didn't have as many come to me last year. I think I had like 3 girls softball, Western Wing, music boosters, and one other come to me for help, and that was 3,500. I've actually gone out and sought people to help before, but we've got down.
The senior center?
No, they don't. They're flush with cash.
Okay.
That's what I was told.
Okay.
So
Would that be where was there a situation with the flagpole lighting and those kind of things? Place in the cemetery, would that come out?
that actually came out of the cemetery fund.
Oh, okay.
So that's all part of township. That falls under township.
Okay.
So, but yeah, and just so y'all know that, I guess we probably all know, but we went with, helped the Legion, Post 169 down here, and paid for a new, pole and, rigging and lighting for a new flag over at the Pershing Cemetery, the one we maintain on the south side of town. It looks pretty good. It really looks good.
Kind of got to look at it yet.
It does. It looks good. And then Cambridge took care of the installation, the Legion. That we're going to go 50-50. And I said, but they wanted it to come out of their fund. And I said, well, I'd have to do a mutual agreement, and it's more of a headache for me to do that. I'd have to get Bob to draw us up a mutual agreement between us and the Legion if we split the funds. I said, why not just let me pay for this and you guys take care of the installation?
Yeah.
So we ended up spending a bit more. We had to spend in our, the money for, the maintenance of the cemeteries. I think I've got like 30,000 set back in our budget for maintenance of cemeteries, and I still had, oh gosh, 7,000 or 8,000 left in there. So I was able to pull from that because it was like 5,500 for the pole. And
probably the wash after didn't pay the attorney fee, right?
yeah, it would, and then we'd had to wait too. And actually the day I was finishing it up was the day I got hurt, because Dave Siggers had been here and he hadn't left no more than probably half an hour when I did that number.
Oh,
Yeah, I told him about it afterwards. I said, you should have stuck around a bit longer. Could have used some help. And payroll deductions, that's simply what I hold out of our checks monthly. And the thing you want to see on it is 0 coming in and 0 going out. You don't want to carry over any funds in payroll deductions. So our payroll deductions total for the year were 16,388.28, and we dispersed all of it.
One thing that I've always wanted to do and just never did it, and I think we should, is to get some really nice signs made up for each cemetery that the trustee takes care of, because you have to take care of by state mandate,
Yeah.
and put on there what the name of that cemetery is,
Yeah.
maybe when it was founded, and that it's maintained by the Jackson Township Trustee Office.
Yeah.
Because people go by and they think, okay, that farmer's taking care of that, or,
Right,
whatever.
Right.
But I've always thought that would be a nice idea to do that.
Yeah.
Just give a little bit of history on it, if nothing else.
Yeah. I don't even know the one on Frank Myers.
The one that you just had done, didn't you and I, there's a plaque over there, isn't there?
Mhm.
An old plaque
Yeah.
that tells a little bit
Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because that's where they put the flag, was right behind that.
right.
They wanted, me and Harry went over and looked at it, and the flag had been on the east side in a weird spot. It just wasn't a good spot. And they got a nice stone with a plaque sitting right in the center of the cemetery on the north end. And we talked about putting it behind there, and I told Dave, I said, me and Harry went over and said, can you put it behind, install it behind that stone? But I said, give like 4 or 5 foot so Rex can get his mower through there, you know, so he doesn't have to weed eat or whatever. So, make it easier on him.
Makes sense.
So, and that's probably, I haven't talked to Rex, but I'm sure he'll want to work with us again this year. That's something I didn't do, is draw up a contract for him yet, but that's still a few weeks away, so,
Unfortunately.
yeah. So that's it in a nutshell for the annual report. It's due March 1st, but we're gonna beat that deadline by a few weeks, and I'll get this in the paper. It'll be advertised hopefully next week. That's when I've got it down as being advertised for, so.
Can you put that under my retraction of candidacy?
I could, yeah. Oh, gosh. I bet there's gonna be a lot of tongues wagging. Did you see what's going on?
God. Yeah,
Oh,
that'd be
what's going
some.
on down there? What
Yeah,
happened to that?
I'm not on Facebook hardly at all, but you monitor that, Lyndon, and tell me what
Yeah,
people are saying.
yeah.
You know what he's doing? Oh my gosh.
Well,
Is
just
there-
hold on, I still gotta go over there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we may have another situation
Yeah.
here, depending on how they.
We have another candidate running for the
Yeah, no
office.
3 people running,
Oh my God.
four people project here.
Yeah. All righty, well,
Motion to adjourn.
that takes care of my agenda, so I don't think I've got anything else that I can think of right now. Might think of it after everybody leaves, but
Make a motion to adjourn if we need a motion.
here's a second.
Tell
Okay.
that when you second.
He jumped right on that one, didn't he?
Yeah,
I've got a full plate the rest of the day.
you gotta go to
All
Richmond.
right.
Places to go.
Yeah, I gotta go to Richmond, do 2 or 3 things.
I guess everybody's.
Oh, FYI, don't take your phone in or a knife.
Right,
Yeah.
I learned, I knew the knife, but I learned the phone the hard way.
Yeah, I did too.
I parked and he said, you can't bring that in here. And I